Welcome to another Teamo8 hand review. This time we're going to look at the end game, from the bubble onwards with one of our level 2 players. Anyway, let's get right into it, see what happens here. Okay, here's a jam. And our player makes the call. Actually, well, he raises all in. Actually, what I'd prefer to do in this spot, although this hand does certainly have the equity to jam here, in our basic hand range guide, it would say ordinarily to jam a hand like this, but we've got a special situation. If we look at the stack sizes, if we go back to the start of the hand, we can see that Decliner here has got a shorter stack than us. And this guy down here at the bottom, Capri's, however you pronounce that, I don't know. He has a really short stack. He's under 4 blinds. So what I'd be inclined to do, even though we've got reasonable equity in this hand, I'd be inclined to let this one go, because I think we make more money in the long run by folding rather than calling. Anyway, let's move right along. Okay, our player did really well in that last hand. The equity's held and he won the pot. Let's see what happens here. We're now in the money. Bubble has burst. Okay, and he jams here. Now that's a good jam against that short stack, and let's bring up some equities. I'll show you why. Now in this situation, our opponent is forced to call with any 4 cards, and so although we're slightly behind, the fact that we're the ones aggressing means he will fold some percentage of the time. If he folds just 5% of the time, our equity's up to 50%. He'll probably fold a little bit more than that. Some players don't realize they should be calling with just about any hand in that spot. And the blinds and the antes well and truly compensate. Overall, it's a plus EV play to jam there. So let's move along. Okay, so a few hands later, let's see what happens. Oh, and our player folds. With a hand this strong, 3-handed, I'd really like to see him put his chips in here. Our opponent's going to fold much more often than he should. Again, let's just have a look at some equities. So even if we put our opponent on a relatively strong calling range, like an ace and a wheel card, and any other 2 cards, again, he's not going to call as often as he should at this stack depth, our opponent. But even so, if he folds 5% of the time, we're ahead on the play. So yeah, I really would have liked to have seen a jam in this spot. Anyway, let's check out another one. Okay, ace 10, 10, 6. Let's see what happens here. Wait, this is the wrong hand. Let's move along. Okay, king, king, 8 deuce with a couple of spades. Our player folds. Again, I really would have liked to have seen a jam there, and for the same reasons as before. Let's have a look at some equities. Again, assuming our opponent calls with strong, ace wheel cards, our equity's pretty good. Like I said, if he folds just 5% of the time, we're ahead on the play. So again, yeah, short-handed. We really can't be waiting for monsters. This is a pretty good hand for the situation, and don't let the fact that we've got the chip lead fool you. With the blinds and antes this big, there's 1,050 chips in the pot, before the flop. It only takes a couple of steals for people to catch up and go past us. Anyway, let's move right along. And another one here, we've got a really strong hand for the situation. Ace king, ace 4 low, a couple of spades. Let's see. Oh, our player folds. In this situation, I can understand why our player's been folding these. He's just graduated from our very, very basic hand range guides, which don't really serve you well once you get down to really short-handed, where you need to open up a lot more. This hand, ace king, 4 and 7 kicker, it's too strong to be folding in this spot. Anyway, let's move along. Okay, so we've pulled up ace 7, 6, 5 and a couple of spades in the small blind against a much shorter stack. Oh, he folds again. Even more reason to jam here. Our player's going to have to call wide. Our equity's going to stack up. Anyway, not a bad effort from this player's. I think it's only about his 10th game that he's ever played. So he's doing okay. He'll watch this video and see what he needs to do to improve his end game. Anyway, if you'd like to know more about what we do, teaching Omaha high-low, staking, providing bankrolls, that sort of thing, then check us out on the website at teamo8.com. Bye for now.